In a world fraught with peril and uncertainty, certain individuals stand out as formidable threats to peace and stability. Welcome, viewers, to the top 10 most dangerous people on Earth. We are going to delve into the shadows to uncover the faces of terror and tyranny shaping our world. At number 10, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the leader of the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, ISIL, also known as ISIS, Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. He was born Ibrahim Awad Ibrahim al-Badri in 1971 in Samarra, Iraq. Baghdadi's rise to infamy came in 2010 when he became the leader of ISIL. Under Baghdadi's leadership, ISIS gained global attention for its brutality, including mass executions, beheadings, and enslavement of women and children. In October 2019, he was located and killed during a raid by U.S. Special Forces in northwest Syria. At number 9, Jack the Ripper. He was the notorious unidentified serial killer who operated in the Whitechapel district of London in 1888. He is believed to have been responsible for the murders of at least 5 women. Jack the Ripper's crimes were characterized by their brutality and the fact that the killer was never caught. In the end, he committed suicide by throwing himself into the River Thames. At number 8, Attila the Hun. He was one of the most feared and formidable leaders of the ancient world. He was born around 406 AD and ruled as the king of the Huns from 434 to 453 AD. Attila's legacy as a ruthless conqueror and barbarian king has left an indelible mark on history. He is remembered as one of the most formidable military leaders of the ancient world and a symbol of the Huns' power and dominance during their heyday. At number 7, Ivan the Terrible. Ivan IV Vasilyevic, also known as Ivan the Terrible, was the Grand Prince of Moscow from 1533 to 1547 and the first Tsar of Russia from 1547 to 1584. He imprisoned and tortured his political opponents, including his own family members. Ivan's personal life was also tumultuous, with multiple marriages and a reputation for cruelty and violence. He died in 1584, and his legacy remains a subject of debate among historians and scholars. At number 6, Osama bin Laden. He was a terrorist leader and founder of the Islamic extremist group Al-Qaeda. He was responsible for planning and financing numerous terrorist attacks worldwide, most notably the September 11th attacks on the United States in 2001. Bin Laden was born in Saudi Arabia to a wealthy family and was influenced by Islamist ideologies from an early age. He fought against the Soviet Union and Afghanistan during the 1980s and later returned to Saudi Arabia, where he began to build his terrorist network. In 1998, bin Laden issued a fatwa calling for the killing of Americans, both military and civilian, and subsequently masterminded several attacks, including the 1998 United States Embassy bombings in Kenya and Tanzania, the 2000 USS Cole bombing in Yemen. Following the 9/11 attacks, bin Laden went into hiding, and a global manhunt ensued. He was eventually located in Abbottabad, Pakistan, and killed on May 2, 2011, by U.S. Navy SEALs during a covert operation. At number 5, Joseph Stalin. He was a Soviet politician and leader who ruled the Soviet Union from 1922 until his death. He served as General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union and Premier of the Soviet Union. Some of the brutal acts in his era are the Great Purge, the Soviet famine, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, the Soviet Union's role in World War II, the Cold War. Stalin's legacy is highly controversial, with some viewing him as a strong leader who modernized and strengthened the Soviet Union, while others condemn his brutal policies and human rights abuses. He died in 1953. At number 4, Charles Manson. He was an infamous American cult leader and convicted murderer who gained notoriety for his role in orchestrating a series of brutal killings in the late 1960s. Born on November 12, 1934, in Cincinnati, Ohio, Manson's early life was marked by a troubled upbringing and involvement in criminal activities. Manson spent much of his youth in and out of correctional facilities, accumulating a lengthy criminal record for offenses such as theft, burglary, and armed robbery. In August 1969, Manson ordered several of his followers to carry out a series of brutal murders in Los Angeles as part of his plan to incite a race war. The most infamous of these killings occurred on the night of August 8 to 9, 1969, when Manson's followers brutally murdered actress Sharon Tate, who was 8 months pregnant, and several others at her home in Benedict Canyon. He died on November 19, 2017, at the age of 83 while serving his sentence at California State Prison, Corcoran. At number 3, Ted Bundy. He was an American serial killer who terrorized multiple states in the 1970s. Theodore Robert Bundy was born on November 24, 1946, in Burlington, Vermont. He was considered charming and charismatic, which allowed him to lure his victims with ease. Bundy's exact victim count is unknown, but he confessed to killing at least 30 young women across several states, including Washington, Oregon, Utah, Colorado, and Florida. However, the actual number of his victims may be much higher. One of Bundy's most notorious killing sprees occurred in January 1978 when he broke into a sorority house at Florida State University in Tallahassee and brutally attacked 4 women, killing 2 of them. This event is also known as the Chi Omega murders. Bundy was eventually captured in February 1978 in Pensacola, Florida, after being pulled over for a traffic violation. During his trial, Bundy's charm and intelligence were on display as he represented himself in court. He managed to escape from custody twice, once in June 1977 in Colorado and again in December 1977 in Florida, further adding to his notoriety. In 1989, after years of legal battles and appeals, Bundy was executed by electric chair at Florida State Prison. At number 2, Adolf Hitler. He was born in Austria-Hungary. Hitler served in the German army during World War I. He joined the Nazi Party in 1919 and quickly rose through the ranks, becoming leader in 1921. Hitler ran for president against Paul von Hindenburg in 1932 and lost, but was appointed Chancellor of Germany in 1933. Hitler abolished democracy and established a totalitarian regime, consolidating power and suppressing opposition. He implemented policies aimed at racial purity, including the Nuremberg Laws, 1935, and the Holocaust, which killed 6 million Jews and millions of others deemed undesirable. Hitler pursued an aggressive foreign policy, annexing Austria and invading Czechoslovakia, Poland, France, and the Soviet Union, leading to World War II. As Allied forces closed in on Berlin, Hitler became increasingly isolated and paranoid. He married Eva Braun in a small ceremony in the Führerbunker, 1945. On April 30, 1945, Hitler and Braun committed suicide together, their bodies burned to avoid capture. Hitler's legacy is one of unspeakable evil, and his actions and beliefs serve as a warning against the dangers of extremism, racism, and hatred. And now, brace yourselves for the pinnacle of peril, as we unveil the most dangerous person on Earth. At number 1, Genghis Khan, born in Temujin, was a legendary Mongolian ruler and military leader who founded the Mongol Empire, one of the largest contiguous land empires in history. He was born around 1162 in the steppes of Mongolia, and his early life was marked by hardship and conflict. As a young boy, Temujin faced adversity after his father was poisoned, and his family was abandoned by their tribe. In 1206, he was proclaimed Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler, by a council of Mongol chiefs, officially establishing his authority as the supreme leader of the Mongols. Genghis Khan's conquests stretched from the steppes of Mongolia to the shores of the Caspian Sea, encompassing modern-day China, Russia, Central Asia, and parts of the Middle East and Eastern Europe. Despite his reputation as a ruthless conqueror, Genghis Khan was also known for his progressive policies and administrative reforms. Genghis Khan's death in 1227 marked the end of an era, but his legacy endured through his descendants, who continued to expand and govern the Mongol Empire for centuries. Thank you for joining us on this spine-tingling expedition, adventurers. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and never stop exploring the mysteries of our world. If you found this journey as captivating as we did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your fellow thrill seekers.